Gianluigi Buffon was left in floods of tears as Italy failed to reach their first World Cup since 1958. The Azzurri were held 0-0 by Sweden at the San Siro following their 1-0 first-leg defeat in Stockholm to shockingly fail to reach the finals. Italian legend Buffon, 40, now knows he will never pull on the No. 1 jersey for his country again. Combine that with the failure to qualify for Russia next summer, and it all became too much for the Juventus hero. After the game, he choked, "I'm sorry that my final game coincided with us not qualifying for the World Cup. I am not sorry for myself, but all of Italian football. However, Buffon is by no means the first or the last footballer to sob on the football pitch. Check out 13 other big-name stars to be left in tears. For good reasons or for bad. In 1958, Brazil stunned hosts Sweden to win their first ever World Cup in Solna, near Stockholm. The biggest storyline of that year's tournament was the emergence of a world superstar. "17-year-old Pele.The teenager scored twice in the 5-2 final win as Brazil finally got their hands on the most famous trophy in football. The victory was too much for young Pele, though, who celebrated on the pitch through tears of joy. It's the closest England have come to tasting glory on the world stage since the Heroes of 1966. After battling to the semi-finals in Italy, England took Germany to extra time after an 80th-minute equalizer from Gary Lineker. But in the 99th minute, Gazza was booked for a bad tackle, receiving a yellow card which would suspend him for the final, and he erupted into a flood of tears. Looking back on the incident, Gascoigne himself revealed, "I straightened up and turned to the ref. He's gone for his pocket. Suddenly I can't hear anything. The world just stops apart from the bloke in black." My eyes follow his hand to the pocket, then out with the card. There it is, raised above my head. I looked at the crowd, I looked at Lineker, and I couldn't hold it back. At that moment I just wanted to be left alone. I didn't want to talk to anyone or see anyone. My bottom lip was like a helicopter pad. I was devastated. Losing in the cup semis is heartbreaking enough. But to do it against your rivals? That's a completely different ballgame. In 1991, Arsenal slumped to a 3-1 defeat at the hands of North London rivals Tottenham thanks to a Gazza screamer and 2 from Lineker. The loss was too much to take for goalkeeper Seaman, who trudged off the Wembley turf with his head in his hands. It was one of the greatest comebacks in the history of football, as Manchester United won the 1999 Champions League title. 1-0 down until stoppage time. Goals from Teddy Sheringham and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer stunned Bayern Munich at the Nou Camp. Bayern had led since the 6th minute, but threw it away thanks to 91st and 93rd minute strikes. The result was ecstasy for United, agony for Bayern, with star forward Jancker unable to contain himself. Greece incredibly won the 2004 European Championship, despite no one giving them a hope at the start of the tournament. The Greeks battled past Portugal in the final to win 1-0 and get their hands on the trophy. On Portuguese soil, no less.The loss saw then Man United star Ronaldo break down in floods of tears as he missed out on the tournament win. It was an all-English Champions League final showdown between Manchester United and Chelsea, so naturally emotions were running high. The teams played out a 1-1 draw, with extra time unable to separate the Premier League giants. As it came down to penalties, JT had the chance to give Chelsea the win as he took the Blues' 5th spot kick. Ronaldo had already missed for United, but as Chelsea had one hand on the trophy, Terry slipped and skewed his penalty way off. United went on to win as Nicholas Anelka missed for the Blues. With captain Terry left sobbing as Sir Alex Ferguson and company celebrated. Italy had performed well in reaching the final of the 2012 tournament in Kiev. However, they completely fell apart on the night as rampant Spain ripped them to shreds to run out 4-0 winners, with 2 late goals rubbing salt into the wound. The result was too much to bear for many an Italian star that night, but the enduring image remains Balotelli in floods of tears by the end. After a long and distinguished career, it was always going to be tough for Beckham to walk away from football. Following trophy-laden stints at Man United and Real Madrid, Beck's also turned out for Le Galaxy, AC Milan, and, finally, Paris Saint-Germain. At the final whistle of his last ever game for PSG against Brest, an emotional Beckham strolled around the pitch, visibly drinking in every last second of his final game. But the emotion was too much for Golden Balls, as he was left in tears as the enormity of his decision truly hit home. While many of the tearful footballers already mentioned were reduced to tears through pure joy or cup final heartbreak, some are more simple. In fact, in 2013, Rayo Vallecano's Arbilla had absolutely no answer for Real Madrid star Bale, who tormented him all game during a 3-2 win for Los Blancos. Real were already 2 goals to the good when Bale flicked the ball past Arbilla and breezed past him. Arbilla was visibly beaten and hugely embarrassed, but the worst was yet to come as he was immediately hauled off the field of play. He trudged the bench and burst into tears before hiding under his top to sob in peace. They say the best defense is a good offense. Well, that's not always the case. With Liverpool closing in on their first ever Premier League title in 2013-14, they found themselves 3-0 up against Crystal Palace. With goal difference potentially playing a role down the line, Brendan Rodgers' Reds kept attacking. Only to be left utterly shell-shocked. The Eagles scored 3 times late on to snatch a 3-3 draw and all but end Liverpool's hopes of clinching the title. The result left Suarez in floods of tears, hiding under his jersey before being hugged off the pitch by captain Steven Gerrard. The result sent shock waves through the footballing world. Brazil had been beaten 7-1 by Germany. Widely considered to be the best team on the planet, the Brazilians were aiming to get their hands on yet another World Cup title. Yet they were demolished in the semi-finals of the 2014 tournament by an unstoppable Germany. The result left David Luiz, and no doubt millions of fans, utterly inconsolable. After 24 years at Barcelona, Xavi knew it was time to move on. As he joined Qatari side Al Sadd. However, the knowledge his time at his boyhood club was over still didn't detract from the emotion of the evening when taking on Deportivo La Coruña. After playing out his last ever home game for Barca, Xavi addressed the packed Nou Camp crowd, choking through the tears as the Catalan Giants fans bid farewell to a true legend. Aged just 29 years old, Messi seemed to have retired from international football in 2016. After missing the all-important penalty in the Copa America final against Chile, Messi trudged off the pitch, moved to tears. Following the defeat, Messi claimed, "For me the national team is over. I've done all I can, it hurts not to be a champion." "I don't think I will return. I made up my mind. I did everything possible to win and it's done."